of the Week pregame show. Sponsored by Premier Equipment Rentals.
Welcome to the pregame show, sponsored by Premier Equipment Rental. Had a chance to interview head coach Tim Hartnett of the Highland Scotsman, and this is what he had to say about his team's chances. Coach Hartnett, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
Coach, I take a look at your coaching staff over there, and I see some veteran guys and some pretty experienced coaching staff. How'd you put together such an outstanding squad?
You know, I'm just fortunate that way. I just lucked out. I was very fortunate to get, you know, a couple of young coaches, but they have a vast playing experience with Kenny Haslip and Alex Walsh, you know, both former Blitz players, and you know, went on and have actually got a little sniff of the NFL, and so they both bring a vast amount of experience, you know, and they can teach those kids those little intangibles that a lot of high school coaches don't know about. And then, of course, I got Coach Mark Stanley, who's been around forever. You know, he coached at BC and Taft College, and I mean, all over, and he has done a tremendous job with our special teams. We really feel like our special teams are one of the strengths of our squad, and he works very hard to make that happen. And then, of course, with Steve Matney coming over from Centennial and Steve Montano coming over from Shafter, we've got two guys right there who, you know, have experience at several different high schools. I think between the two of them, they have about 20 years experience. So it's been great, you know, to have those guys on staff. And of course, John Arvizu's been here at Highland. He's been through the rough years, and now he's really enjoying the good years. But overall, you know, I really feel we got a strong staff, and we work real well together. And that's a big part of coaching. You know, if you like the guys you work with and the kids like them, it's a lot more fun to come to practice every day.
6-1 on the season so far. You guys have had an outstanding year. Talk about some of the things that helped you get to this point.
Well, you know, it's been an amazing run so far. You know, we've had some great games, some close games, had some blowouts, played well at times, haven't played so well at times, but I think the one thing that has stood out pretty much in our 6 wins is our defense has done a great job of, you know, coming on the field and making plays and making things happen. I've got some players, defensive players, who have really been stepping up, and every week they're getting better and better. And Pat Sua, he's about as good as I've coached, you know, at that linebacker position.
Coach, I talked to Coach Manning earlier, and he's saying that this is a very important game for both programs. What are your thoughts on that?
I think they described it pretty well. I think he's pretty much right on the money as far as we're concerned. This Foothill game is a big game for us, and it's neat because our guys know them, know the Foothill players. They've played rugby with them in the off season. It's not like they're playing some strangers, so there's some personal matters involved, and that makes it fun.
You've seen their outstanding running back. What are your keys to stopping him on Friday night?
Man, I don't know. I'll tell you what, he's spectacular. What a great running back he is. You know, he runs the ball. He's fast. He's quick. He hits the hole really quick, and he's a handful all by himself. And then you add to that Churchill, who's just a great receiver, and they've got a combination there that's pretty tough to beat.
Matt Guerra has already thrown for close to 1,000 yards on the season. You've got some pretty good passers yourself over here with Prosser and Johnson. Talk about those young men.
Well, you know, they've been trying to develop those guys every day. You know, every week we're trying to get better and better with those guys. And what we found is that we've really, Alan Roy's been the one who's kind of stepped up for us with the running game. But we are going to throw the ball. We'll continue to throw it. We've got Sean O'Leary, just an outstanding receiver. And if we can get it to him, good things are going to happen. So, you know, every week we're trying to find ways of getting the ball in his hands and letting him make something happen out there for us.
Coach, thanks a lot for being on the show.
My pleasure.
And good luck.
Thank you. Thanks.
Got a job to do? Premier Equipment Rentals is your answer. Residential or industrial, we've got exactly what you need to get the job done. Whether it's a drill, trencher, bobcat, backhoe, or excavator, you can always count on Premier Equipment Rentals. And with our new extended hours, we're available when you need us. Check us out at 3217 Patton Way and 5001 Stein Road, or give us a call to find out more. Don't forget to ask about our weekend specials. Make your next project a breeze with Premier Equipment Rental.
Welcome to the pregame show, sponsored by Premier Equipment Rental. Coach Manning likes his team's chances tonight. Got a chance to interview him, and this is what he had to say. Coach Manning, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, when I look at your coaching staff, when I look down there, you got a bunch of West High guys. I know you're an old Viking from the early '80s. Talk about those guys and what they bring to your program.
Well, you know, obviously it all starts with Coach Need. I mean, Coach Need was, you know, when he was really young, you know, it wasn't when he started old. He was one of my coaches, you know, when I was his freshman over at West High. And just, you know, his experience and his intensity that he brings. I mean, you know, he's been coaching a long time, and he's one of the most intense people you'll ever coach around. But, you know, he loves kids, you know, he loves the game, and, you know, he gets a lot out of these guys. And, you know, we're blessed to have him, and it's, you know, it all starts with him. And, you know, and then, you know, we're fortunate to, you know, Mike Gregg, old West High guy, you know, good friend of mine coming over and, you know, coaching the D-line and special teams, does a great job for us. And then, you know, we acquired Coach Jim Maple, you know, from East High, and he's doing a great job with he's doing our O-line and help with our coordinating, and, you know, it's a good chemistry.
You guys are pretty good at the skill position all the way around. You take a look at the quarterback, Matt Guerra. This is his third year, I believe, as your starting quarterback. Ronnie Churchill at the wide receiver spot. Talk about those two young men.
Well, you know, Matt's return threw for over 1,000 yards last year, and you know, he should throw for over 1,000 this year. You know, he's a senior. You know, he's had some great games. He has great touch, and when he steps in the pocket, I don't think there's anybody better in town than him. You know, obviously, you know, Churchill's, you know, he's 6'3", about 180 pounds. You know, he's a tough guy to defend. We're going to try to get him the football, obviously. If we don't do that, then we're in trouble.
Who's leading the way up front for you guys this year?
Well, I think we got a few returners. Ronnie Owens, our right guard, was a returner for us. You know, he's a tough kid. He's a junior, started for us as a sophomore. He's real physical, loves to play football, loves to go both ways, never wants to come off the field. But mainly, we have him on offense, and he spots on defense. J.C. Spradling, our left tackle, returning starter. He's a big kid, you know, 6'4", 270. You know, has a lot of potential. Really, you know, it's kind of a slow start this year, but I think he's gonna progress nicely for us.
Talk about your defense and who's leading the way for you.
Well, I think you know, some of our down guys with Angel Posadas, a senior nose guard, and in the 50 defense that we play, the nose guard, you start there, and he's doing a great job. He's a two-gap guy. You know, he can flow with the play, and I think against BHS, I think he's our leading tackler. You know, then our linebacking core, you know, with, returning Jared Armijo, and you know, he's a big player for us. I mean, he's physical. He's about 6 foot, probably 240, and you know, he doesn't mind sticking it in there. And then Perez, you know, Perez is a little bit undersized, number 32, but I tell you, he brings it on every play. You'll see him, and he'll be in on a lot of tackles. Also, DJ Enterton, down guy, he's also our tight end. Real physical, real smart kid, and you know, our kids are tough in there. You know, they're going to play hard in there. It's going to be tough to run in the middle on us. You know, the question for us is, you know, can we fill in the, you know, with the secondary guys? We're still looking for guys that come up and tackle and be physical. So if we can get that, I think our defense is going to be very sound.
You obviously got a chance to see Highland on film. What are your concerns about that team?
Well, they've got several good athletes, really good athletes, and they can score in quickly. Obviously, they've been shutting a lot of people down. Some people that scored a lot of points, you know, against us, you know, they've shut down. So, you know, but I don't think we're going to be intimidated. Our kids will be ready to play.
So there it is, folks, the crown of the East Side, as Coach Manning calls it, as he looks to get his team to 500. They're currently at 1-2. Coach, good luck on Friday night, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back with the kickoff right after these messages.
Got a job to do? Premier Equipment Rentals is your answer. Residential or industrial, we've got exactly what you need to get the job done. Whether it's a drill, trencher, bobcat, backhoe, or excavator, you can always count on Premier Equipment Rentals. And with our new extended hours, we're available when you need us. Check us out at 3217 Patton Way and 5001 Stein Road, or give us a call to find out more. Don't forget to ask about our weekend specials. Make your next project a breeze with Premier Equipment Rental.
Get rid of your old gas guzzler and buy used at the Barber Honda's Used Car Super Center. With over 200 cars, you'll get superstar treatment and state-of-the-art service at the new Barber Honda Service Center. It's the absolute best in Kern County. Find a pre-owned, fuel-efficient car that's just right for you. And Barber Honda has the largest selection of certified pre-owned Hondas. Don't wait until gas is over $6 a gallon. Start saving gas and money now at the Barber Honda Used Car Super Center, 4625 Weibel Road at the entrance to the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
ESPN College Game Day.
You ready? I'm ready.
The #1 college football show.
Expect the unexpected.
I know you've done your homework on this.
Absolutely. Every Saturday.
It's always a fun place to be.
Look at these beautiful people. This is heaven.
Live from the nation's college football hotspots.
These are the best college football fans in the nation.
The guys, the predictions, and the headgear.
Go Buckeyes!
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN and ESPN HD. Then log on at collegegameday.com.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into geology.
Jump into culinary arts.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into music.
With an amazing low cost per credit.
Jump into a life you love.
And financial aid.
Jump into acting.
Bakersfield College is more affordable than ever.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into college.
Your life's waiting, so jump.
Bright House Networks presents the Bright House Networks High School Football Game of the Week. Sponsored by Barber Honda, Bakersfield College, and Premier Equipment Rentals.
A very, very happy Halloween football. Are you kidding me? October 31st, 2008, Week 8 of High School Football Game of the Week exclusively on Bright House Networks Bakersfield. My name is Vance Palm. It is a pleasure to have you with us. What a night. We are way out on the southeast side at Foothill High School, where the Trojans will be hosting the Highland High School Scots. Kevin Keys joins me way up on the booth. Brian Adams down on the grass, and we have the tarp, or the tent, set up ahead of us, above us, because of course we thought, major precipitation and might not need it. But Brian Adams, you and I were here a few years ago on Halloween, October 31st, and we were drenched in the rain, but a beautiful night for football, Brian.
Yeah, tonight is a great night. Cool weather, crisp and clean, but that night we did 2 years ago, it was just crazy. Rain came down. We didn't have our rain suits really ready, but we made it through. Good game, and look forward for a good battle tonight.
I'll get back to you on that, Brian, about your thoughts on this football game. We're joined up here by Kevin Keys. Kevin, saw the pregame show with your discussions. Give us your preview personally of this game tonight.
Well, this is a big game for both teams, especially, in the Division III race. These are the top teams from around the valley. You've got Hanford. Hanford's a pretty good football team, and they've got a tough test next week against El Diamante. But when you take a look at Foothill and Highland, these could be two teams that are playing way down the road. And of course, Highland is 6-1. Haven't played as tough a schedule as Foothill. Foothill's 2 losses in the SEYL came from the Drillers and the Patriots, 2 pretty good Division I football teams. So big game tonight, as Coach Manning called it. It's the battle for the crown of the East.
Thank you, Kevin. This is Week 8 of high school football, and it already is starting to feel like Week 11, and it already feels like a late November game as far as the seriousness of it. There's another big game going on tonight over at North High School, where they're hosting the Stockdale Mustangs. A lot of big talk about that game, but I can tell you this, football purists thinking about a matchup at its best. A lot of eyeballs on this football game tonight. Again, I'm Vance Palm, joined by Kevin Keys. What in the world? Oh, that's right, it's Halloween. Ow! We're back. Brian Adams is deep in the end zone. Brian, your thoughts on this football game?
Well, Vance, I agree with Kevin. You know, Highland, we don't know really where they're at yet. They haven't been tested, but they're in for 3 games. The next 3 games, Foothill, Liberty, and BHS, they will be battle tested. But Foothill's done a great job of weathering the storm and being ready for the situation. And one thing we know about Coach Manning and this Foothill group since he's been here is they've played well in big games.
All right, the table has been set. Highland will kick off to Foothill. And here we go, week 8 underway on high school football game of the week. It's going to be taken at the 1-yard line. Bumble picks it up. That's Ronnie Churchill, the dangerous Ronnie Churchill. And a lot of speed, a ton of talent, great vision, but this time he's hauled out at about the 12-yard line. So Foothill will take over. 1st and 10 on about the 12, as we see Churchill here, just can't get away.
Well, Highland did a great job going down in their lanes. The outside guys maintain outside leverage. And as you can see right there, big number 90 for the Scotsman, Oscar Topete, did his job bringing Churchill down.
1st and 10 for the Trojans, and I've been looking forward to this all year, getting the chance to watch Matt Guerra, quarterback for the Trojans. The first handoff, oh my goodness, woo-hoo. Lawrence Weldon almost broke free for a TD. Can you believe it? They went strong left, and Highland, had they not drug him down by the jersey, Kevin, he was almost gone. Boy, Lawrence can really move it.
Lawrence is really a tough young man. Almost 150 carries already on the season. Over 1,000 yards thus far. He will be the guy for the Trojans tonight.
2nd and 5. Oh, big hit right at the line of scrimmage. Didn't pick up anything. All they got was a pop.
Well, that's big John Oglesby and Patrick Sua's territory there. Arguably two of the toughest linebackers in town. One of the reasons why that young man is already verbally committed to Fresno State.
Patrick Sua going to be a Bulldog, and I was speaking with all the coaches as you were before the game, and Sua and Oglesby on the mind of the Foothill coaching staff. Guerra in the shotgun. Out to the right side. He has his receiver, but he slips and falls, and that was Mondo Alexander. So Mondo.
A nice job out there by Jose Diaz, the cornerback for the Scotsman, the open field tackle on Mondo Alexander. He's a pretty quick young man. Well, that's going to be 3 and out.
Yeah, kind of a disappointing start for the Trojans with the arm of Guerra and the speed of his running backs and receivers. Really didn't get much out of that. Snap a little high, able to pull it in. Edgar Linares' punt takes a Foothill bounce. Scooped up out there. What a nice move by Sean O'Leary.
Still, and he's got some room to run. O'Leary wisely picks up that football. I love the way he just kind of poached that ball. Brian, as a returner, did a great job of kind of poaching that and picking it up and getting some extra yards.
Oh, yeah, and he just lulled the defensive players covering that punt to sleep. And once he picked it up, what I like about Leary, he's able to turn it on very quickly. He doesn't have to take a long time to start up. He can just go from 0 to 5 to 10 very fast. And that was a great job of picking up the ball and picking up some positive yardage.
1st and 10, Highland on the 43-yard line of Foothill. You're watching Bright House Network's high school football game of the week, Halloween special. And the cheerleaders from Foothill High School are going to keep reminding us of that all night with those great, great costumes. Thank you, ladies. I formation for the Scots. Handoff up the middle. Wow, they got a lot out of that. That was Alan Roy. Fumble!
He was marked down. Well, I love the quick feet of Alan Roy. If you watch him run the ball in between the tackles here, did a good job of reading his blocks, being patient there and taking what they gave him. But a nice job by our camera crew there to pick that up. Awfully close to being a fumble.
Sure was. 2nd and 1. Head coach for Highland, Tim Hartnett. Head coach for Foothill, Dennis Manning. A pile up at the line of scrimmage. I can't say that he got enough of the first down just yet.
That's Patrick Sua, the ball carrier. They've got him listed at 6'2", 210 pounds. You'll see Patrick and John Oglesby rotating there at the fullback position.
They did not get it, so it'll bring up 3rd and 1, as we see on our BC Instant Replay. Log jam at the line.
It's a great job by Posada and crew on defense to stop Patrick Sua there for no gain.
3rd and 1, still in the I formation. Looks like run here. They pitch. And whoa, boy. He almost got drugged down out there, but he not only picks up the first, but Roy gets a ton more. Got about 8 yards on that, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 38. Almost was pulled down on the backfield. Watch this, everybody.
Great job by Roy here, breaking to the outside to pick up the 1st down. Gerardo Mendoza came over to make the stop for the Trojans.
Always nice to see these young runners and receivers and ball carriers switch hands and put the ball in the outside hand. Good textbook football, young man.
Take a look at Angel Posada, number 70 for the Trojans on the defensive line at nose guard. He's a guy that's going to get a lot of push as you see Johnson complete out to number 21 for the Scotsman. Ruben Guerrero, short gain. But Posada's a guy, Vance, that is leading the Trojans in tackles. It's rare that you see a guy that plays the A-gap leading your team in tackles. It just says what an outstanding player he is from sideline to sideline, and he also leads their team in sacks.
2nd and 8. I formation for the Scots again. They hand off to Roy. Roy looks upfield and gets brought down after maybe a yard gain. Nice job, and assistant coach, one of the assistant coach from Foothill, Kevin Sneed, very effervescent and speaking with one of his players.
That's the one thing that Alan Roy likes to do. He likes to take the ball. It just kind of bounces it outside because he possesses great speed. But that's what Foothill's got to have tonight if they're going to be successful, is outside containment.
It's a big play here, 3rd and 8 for the Foothill defense. They can hold Highland here. We're just underway, 1st series for the Scotsman. The pitch. This time they're going to hold him. It was out to Alan Roy again, and Roy gets nothing. Actually, looks like he got dinged up on the play.
Posada, Angel Posada, you take a look at him from his nose guard position. Just takes care of the center, goes in. Nice job of wrapping up as he got a little bit of help from his teammates. But when that guy lands on you at 280 pounds, you're going to feel it.
So deep for the Trojans. Lawrence Weldon, perfect snap. They go for the block, don't get it. A high booming punt and an excellent punt.
Oh,
look at this.
Jared Aguilar, that's what he does well for the Scotsman. Just an outstanding young man. Just a junior, he will handle the kicking duties for them, place kicking and punting duties. Coach Randy Martin of the Scotsman speaks highly of his young kicker.
What a great coach Coach Martin is on the Hartnett staff, and he's put some great feet, some great legs up to the next level. Well, Brian, you've got Trojans there right in front of you on a 1st and 10 from about the 3-yard line. Be nice to see them air out something here.
Well, you know, they got a great quarterback in Garrett, but I think they're going to get the ball in the running back's hands.
Yeah. I'm trying to vicariously vibe him into some long ball here. You know, I see it. Talk to assistant coach Jim Maples here. Anytime I see Coach Maples, I just want to assume the ball's going in the air.
Jimmy was a pretty good quarterback, as was Coach Sneed back in their days, the West High days. As you took a look at a former West High Viking, head coach Dennis Manning.
2nd and 8. Hand off again. You know, this quarterback, Matt Guerra, really started to make a name for himself last year, and towards the end of the year, considered one of the best quarterbacks in the area. And, you know, this year, Kevin, as you mentioned, they played some tough games already this year, so haven't really seen the numbers.
Well, he's come up to close to 1,000 yards passing on the season, about 950, but he's as cool and calm as they get in the pocket as a passer. As you see him drop back here, he's got a man open in Churchill.
Whoa.
Oh, what a great job by Hensley. Ashton Hensley came up from his cornerback position to close on this, to jump the passing lane. great job, as you can see right there. Hensley come up and make the play.
Well, Kevin, that was a dangerous pass play, throwing that out route to that side of the field. If Hensley gets a better jump on the ball, he goes pick 6 on that.
Sure. So again, Foothill will have to punt it. Not a bad boot, but it's going to be taken at the 45-yard line. And he's got some room. Look out, Jonathan Carter. Carter gets up to about the 23-yard line. So excellent field position for Highland for their second set of downs.
Carter showing a little bit of speed there. They got him listed at 5'8", just 140 pounds, but a great job here reading his blocks, picking up some good yardage. Just a block or two away from taking that thing all the way.
First and 10 Highland. You're watching High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Premier Equipment Rentals, Bakersfield College, and Barber Honda.
Coach Hartnett and his Scotsman return to the school that Coach Hartnett played at back in the 60s.
Look out. Prasser, the quarterback, and he's tossed down after starting from the shotgun.
Jesus Bueno in on the tackle for the Trojans. But Coach Hartnett played here, Vance, in the graduate of 1968 before he went on to play at Laverne. 4 years of ball at Laverne before he came back and started his coaching career. Played for the legendary Coach Ned Permitter.
Second and 11. Prasser. Oh, boy, look out.
Guess who?
Yeah, take a guess. Posadas again.
Well, I tell you what, the Scotsmen have got to do something at the point of attack there on the A-gap, because this guy has made penetration on just about every play.
Brian Adams, you know Coach Hartnett pretty well. It's been a 6-1 season so far. Have you had a chance to kind of get his feelings?
Well, you know, Vance, one thing when you talk about Coach Hartnett, he talks about all the things he's learned from previous coaches, whether it was in high school from Permitter, his coaches at Laverne, his experience when he was in Delano and other places. He builds a team spirit, and I think that's what he's most successful at, getting guys to play together.
Prasser on a 3rd and 12. The pitch back to Flea Flicker. Look out. Will it be okay? It's going to be ruled incomplete that he was in the motion. Great job by the defense there, Kevin.
Ryan, that's a great comment about Coach Hartnett. You learn from the guys that you play with and coach, that you're coached by. But the one thing that Coach Hartnett does as well as anybody is he recruits on campus. He gets guys to come out and play for him. Guys love playing for him because he's a great mentor.
4th and 12, Highland. The aforementioned foot. It is up, and it is just right.
Well, Jared Aguilar had plenty of leg on that thing. It was wide right. But you're talking about a foot. He had that by about 10, 15 yards, Vance.
Wow.
You're looking at the leg of a potential college football player right there, Jared Aguilar.
Well, I think he'll play in college. It depends on where and what level. That would have been, as you say, Kevin, probably about a 45-yarder. Well, kicked it from the 35 and no problem. 1st and 10. Got Kevin Keys next to me, Brian Adams on the field. This is week 8 of the High School Football Game of the Week. There's the Trojan marching band. Guerra goes to his right, wants to throw. Tosses it out, a nice toss, and it's going to be caught out there, of course, by Lawrence Weldon. And Weldon brings it to about the 37-yard line. That's a nice play for the Trojans right now.
Well, that's a great job of play-action pass here. Weldon runs a little circle-out route from inside. Great job by Guerra, just rolling and finding Weldon out in the flats. That's the one thing that the Trojans have got to do to have some success tonight against the Scotsman defense is get their outstanding running back in space with the football.
1st and 10, 36-yard line. Now this time they hand it to Alexander, Mondo Alexander. Gotta love that name. So Mondo gets 5 maybe.
Well, it'll be interesting to watch Lawrence Weldon tonight. He's pulling double duty for the first time all year. He's playing safety tonight for the Trojans. Let's see how that wears on them late in the game. You noticed last week against the Drillers, they played the Drillers very tough for one half of football. And in the fourth quarter, the wheels kind of fell off. As you see the fullback for the Trojans, Lawrence Weldon, get the ball and carry a gain of about 3 yards on the play.
Kevin Weldon's listed at 5'9", 165 pounds. He is a senior. He carries a punch with him. He packs a punch, but you know, I think he's most dangerous out on the flats, but he's not afraid to get right up the middle.
He's just an outstanding young man. When you talk to the coaches at Foothill about his character and what he brings to the squad, he's just an outstanding leader on and off the field for the Trojans.
Very good. 3rd and 2. Around to the right side, this is Alvarado. Alvarado looks for some room, gets it. What a nice cut. Got him the first down.
Kind of reminiscent of a wing T looking play there. Alvarado did a great job being patient, finding a little running lane to pick up the first down.
We're under a minute here in the first quarter. Time has flown by, no scores yet. The only real true threat was a wide right field goal attempt by Highland. Guerra having a quick word with Mondo. That's Alexander. From the shotgun. Oh, boy, that would have been a 5-yard pickup, but Alvarado couldn't handle it.
Wow. Ashton Hensley again coming up from his cornerback position, closes as well as anybody in town. You take a look at the BC instant replay here. Guerra finds his man, but here comes Hensley. Johnny on the spot. And I'm sure that's one that Alvarado feels like he should have had. Leonard Alvarado's a pretty good wide receiver. 5'10", 170-pound senior.
2nd and 10. He's got all the room he needs out there, Weldon. Look out, everybody. Nice 20-yard run. Be 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Again, you get it out to those speedy legs.
Well, that's the matchup that Foothill wants, is their speedy running back on a linebacker here out in the flats. And take a look at John Oglesby, and that's just tough to ask him to do all night, cover the shifty running back, senior Lawrence Weldon.
1st and 10 on the 35, Kevin.
Yeah, the Trojans got a pretty good drive going here.
Guerra has a man open. Oh, boy, Ronnie Churchill, another one of the big-name seniors on this team, had a step, but the ball was just overthrown. And Churchill, another name that we've thrown around for a couple of years.
Brian, did you see that route there?
Yeah, you know, one of the things he did a great job of saving room, but he just kind of didn't really accelerate when he got off that contact.
Well, Hensley used the old DB tricks, keeping a hand on him, got away with it. As a defensive back, if you keep those hands down low, you'll get away with a little holding and obstruction, and that's what Hensley did.
2nd and 10. Guerra content to go out to the flanks again. A big hit out there. Sua laid a big hit on Weldon, and then they just gave each other 5 right there. It's a nice hit. I don't know if we can hang on to it long enough on the replay, but that's a big hit by Sua.
Well,
and as he gets up, they just kind of look at each other.
Well, Lawrence is going, man, I'm glad I didn't take all of that. Ashton Hensley came up, did a great job of holding him up, but man, that could have been lights out. It had Patrick Sua gotten all of them.
The clock's out here for the first quarter. 0-0. We're at Foothill, and this is high school football game of the week on Halloween. They host Highland. We're knotted at 0.
Got a job to do? Premier Equipment Rentals is your answer. Residential or industrial, we've got exactly what you need to get the job done. Whether it's a drill, trencher, bobcat, backhoe, or excavator, you can always count on Premier Equipment Rentals. And with our new extended hours, we're available when you need us. Check us out at 3217 Patton Way and 5001 Stein Road, or give us a call to find out more. Don't forget to ask about our weekend specials. Make your next project a breeze with Premier Equipment Rental.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into geology.
Jump into culinary arts.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into music.
With an amazing low cost per credit
Jump into a life you love.
and financial aid,
Jump into acting.
Bakersfield College is more affordable than ever.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into college.
Your life's waiting, so jump.
And welcome back, second quarter. The crown of the east side. We're at Foothill High School. It's all tied up at 0 as Matt Guerra takes a snap, gives to Lawrence Weldon, and he's hit immediately by number 3, Patrick Sua. And also number 90 in on the stop, Oscar Topete. Weldon's going to lose 1 on the play. Second down. That's going to bring up 4th down. Problems with the clock here. 4th down and 11.
Well, they're in that part of the football field. We'll try to do something with Guerra, but the receivers in tight. They're still going to take him to his right side. Guerra's going to run, I think. Well, he just throws that out to nobody, and I mean nobody. Had no receivers on that side, and that was funky.
Well, it's a wise play by Guerra to try to get rid of that ball. There's a flag on the play, and
Flag on the play.
They're going to call grounding.
Yeah, I mean,
on that.
Well, he went out of the pocket, and there was no receiver on the entire right side of the football field.
Yeah, you'd have to think that somebody in the route messed up, because there's no way you're rolling out to that side, guys, and there's no receiver out there.
Well, Brian, what I noticed is on the equivalent of what would have been the tight end, because there was no wide receiver. The tight end just took off running towards you, the left corner.
Well, everybody came over here, so somebody went the wrong way.
Wow. So it's going to be first down Highland, and they're all heading towards Carlos, our cameraman, and Brian Adams, and Guerra just tosses it into basically.
He rolled to the wrong side. I mean, all of his receivers, as Brian mentioned, were on the opposite side of the field. So he maybe called the wrong formation in the huddle. Something you got to notice before you snap the football, though.
I hate to be in the film session for that.
And now Highland takes over. Kick it out to O'Leary. There's a flag on this play as well. And this flag is thrown by the referee. He's right on the spot.
Well, O'Leary's another one of the guys on the Highland offense that they want to get the ball in his hands. He's a big-time playmaker for them. A lot of speed, as you see. Holding call on the Scotsman. I'm sure the Trojans are going to accept that.
Hey, Kevin, I was told to tell you hello tonight from the big man from Boise. He said, you always talk about Highland greats. You don't mention the big man from Boise.
The man from Boise State, outstanding offensive center, Clay Farr.
Now we've had no penalties in the first quarter, and we've had 3 right in a row here. So,
Brian, the one thing that Clay Farr is notorious for is that in all of his years at varsity football up at Highland, they never beat the Trojans.
Sure, he'll enjoy it.
Oh, man, I'm about to get on Clay on Monday with that one.
Hey, and not only did they not beat them, they didn't even score on them.
They didn't even score?
Clay Farr.
Man.
Clay Farr, Steve Adams.
I'm sure they'll appreciate you bringing that up, Kevin. There goes the lunch I had planned with Clay next week.
Probation department celebrating 100 years coming up here, Brian.
Yeah, it's great to be a part of anything, but it's been a special run for us as probation officers to have 100 years of service in the county.
John Roberts, Chief of Probation, been there almost all 100 of those years. As you can see, Tyler Johnson overshoot Ashton Hensley there. I'm sure I'm going to catch grief from the Chief on that one.
Are you trying to make friends tonight, or what's the story?
Two high-powered guys I'm ragging on.
I'm not quite sure what your motives are tonight, Kevin. Clay Farr, Coach Roberts, you have an axe to grind here on Halloween?
Well, they beat my Scotsman a couple weeks ago when the Transformers went out. You know, I talked to Coach Hartnett about that game. He said in all his years of coaching football, that's the first time he'd seen something like that happen, and he felt like he wasn't prepared for the first time in a long time.
2nd and 16, Highland on the 35-yard line. They go for the hard count, don't get it. Johnson, in trouble and got rid of it on time. That should have been caught. That was a nice effort, but they went through the hands of Patrick Sua.
Well, great job by Herbert Marino, a 5'8", 165-pound DB, putting pressure on Johnson there.
3rd and 16, a special Kern County Bright House Networks High School Football Game of the Week. Hello to Scott Shanarian. Scott Shanarian is moved into the Kern County area for the next 6 months. Scott, I know you're watching tonight on Bright House Networks Channel 21. Welcome to Kern County. Sure, coming from Orange County, you love the big Dust Bowl we had yesterday. 3rd and 16. Johnson looks for some room. On the run now, he's going to get hunted down, and he gets shoved out of bounds. Will there be a flag? Nope, pretty clean hit.
E.J. Anderton in on the tackle for the Trojans. Let's take a look at the BC Instant Replay. Tyler Johnson, not known to run the football. The young sophomore quarterback, Prosser, is the one that normally runs the ball at the quarterback position, but nonetheless, Johnson did a good job of picking up some extra yards, but not enough to pick up the first down, and that'll bring on Jared Aguilar, the outstanding punter for the Scotsman.
Wobbly snap, but on target.
Shanks this one just as we give him credit.
That was the Halloween Hex. Right there, the Halloween Hex. Not a very good punt, and Foothill, again, will have good field position. Both teams have had good field position, here in the first half, but neither have been able to get into the end zone. Second quarter prognostications. Brian, I'm sure that you've made contact with your man, your inside scoop guy, and Kevin Keys is about as tapped in and dialed into the local sports scene as can be. So as far as predictions go, I'm sure you guys are both about 100% this year, right?
Well, I'll tell you, I haven't done well at all, but Nico's been doing pretty good. I think I'm going to keep rolling with Nico.
Got it.
Get him on the wire then, Brian. Take a look at a nice little bubble screen out there to Mondo Alexander.
First down, Foothill.
Great job by Mondo cutting that ball back inside, picking up the tough yardage. So one thing you don't want to do if you're a slight-built receiver is run the ball back in where number 45 and number 3 are. But a lot of courage on his part.
Garrett in the shotgun. Hands the ball off to Weldon. Weldon looking for some late blocks, and he's thrown down out there by Diaz. Diaz wraps him up and brings him down, but not until Weldon gets 5 or 6 yards. Foothill starting to make some more move again.
It was a great job there by Ignacio Montez, the pulling guard for the Trojans, kind of seal that edge for Lawrence Weldon, and a nice 5-yard gain on first down, 2nd and 5.
Weldon right behind Guerra. They hand it to Weldon. Weldon finds the seam and battles up for a first down. That's a nice run out there by Mr. Weldon. Continues to pull his way forward.
Just a down playoff tackle. You see Patrick Sua come up from his linebacker position. Weldon, just a tough young man. They've only got him listed
$165.
165, and he's probably down to about 155.
8.5 left in the first half. In motion, Alvarado, but they give it to Weldon. Weldon busts through. looks for the corner. Well then, brought down at about the 5-yard line.
Boy, that's as good as any two-step cut that I've seen from anybody in town all year. As you take a look at this on the instant replay, just a nice 3-step cut there, breaking to the outside. He almost took this thing all the way right into your living room. Lawrence Weldon, the outstanding senior running back for the Trojans, is giving his team a lift.
First and goal from the 5. Might go right back to him. No, Guerra rolls to the right. Thinks he might take it in.
Keep it.
Touchdown, Foothill. What a beautiful play.
That was a well-designed play there by Coach Sneed, the offensive coordinator.
Well, Brian Adams was in my ear off camera saying, keeper, keeper.
That's one of those ones when it's that wide open, you don't pass the ball on anybody, just run it in.
Got it.
Memories of the outstanding quarterback of the early 90s, Vic Diaz.
Touchdown, Foothill. And the point after by Linares. We watched Edgar Linares warm up, Kevin and I. He kicked one warm up, about a 60-yard boot. And his coaches just said, that'll be fine, stop right there.
Well, they say he has a serious foot. He's a soccer player playing football. So it'll be interesting to see if this game stays close and there's a long field goal to win it if he gets a shot.
Well, our director, Bernie Johnson, if he can do us a favor, where the cheerleaders are walking by, Bernie, that big tunnel that they run through, that tunnel, everybody, is about 20 yards deep from the goal line. Edgar Linares, the kicker, had his tee at the 50-yard line, warming up for the football game. And he booted it exactly 60 yards. Coach Sneed said, pack it up, you're good. Here's the touchdown, Kevin.
Well, Matt Guerra does a good job. He's running this ball all the way, had no designs to throw that. Just an outstanding play call by the Trojan coaching staff. Yes, it is Halloween.
Foothill High School Trojan cheerleaders. Wonderful job, ladies, keeping us all festive tonight. A couple years ago, Kevin, the game that we were talking about, I'm not quite sure where you and Corey were. You know what, I know you weren't here because I listened to you on the way home. You were at a Liberty game 2 Halloweens ago, pouring down rain out here, and it was incredible. Remember that? You were at Liberty, I think.
I don't remember that.
I remember listening to you and Corey.
I don't remember that.
And this, well, you know what they say.
That's how I am with my picks, too. I don't remember them.
Ah.
Thanks, Brian.
We should be honored that I remember 2 years ago listening to you and Corey.
Well, Corey and Peyton tonight are across town at Stockdale, or at the North High Stockdale game, a big game in the SWYL.
Yes.
All right, senior segue, I'll take it. I'll take it. Second quarter prognostications. Brian, the big game, Stockdale 5-2 at North 6-1. Brian Adams.
Well, my main man Nico says we're going Stockdale. The Nico and Brian team are going Stockdale.
Ooh, Kevin Keys.
Well, I talked to Big John Northrup's mother today at work, Shelly Northrup. She told me that John is as focused as ever. Had the same breakfast that he always has, and the North High Stars are going to win this.
Wow.
I'm going with the Stars.
I'll pick Stockdale. 1st and 10, Highland. The pitch. Uh-oh, trickery, trickery.
He might throw it. Nope.
Uh-oh.
And Foothill did a great job at staying at home.
Wow, what a loss.
DJ Enderton wasn't fooled.
7-yard
loss.
loss.
Some help from Big Angel Posada. They're going to lose about, what, 7 on that?
I think so, at least.
That's a little risky there deep in their own territory as you see Ashton Hensley nowhere to go. Great job by number 51 for the Trojans. Jared Armijo staying at home.
2nd and 17. It was about 7, or right on 7, so they got a long way to go. Deep in their own territory with 7.5 left in the first half. Sua hit hard. Brian Adams to Hatchapee at 3-4. But as Kevin Keys would probably want to note, that's the best 3-4 team you'll ever see. The 3-4 Warriors at at the very tough Taft, 6-1.
Well, he said we're going to Hatchapee on that one.
Oh.
So I guess we'll go with, what's that word we use? The best 3 and 4 team.
Kevin Keys, Hatchapee at Taft.
Well, Taft's awful tough at home, but I'm going to go with the Warriors.
I'm going to go Taft.
Coach Didman's boys coming off the hill. Got some outstanding talent in the running
Flag
back.
on the play already. Flag on both sides of the field. Must have been
Weldon.
Picked off by Weldon. We'll see what happens. See if the flag even matters. Weldon cuts back up. Look out. Foothill could have the ball on the 14-yard line. Let's see what it is. Brian, do you think you might have seen what the flag was called for?
I thought the receiver might have left a little bit early. That's what I was thinking the flag was for, but we'll find out.
Uh-oh.
False start. You're right.
You're right, Brian, and it is declined. First down, Foothill, look out.
Well, Lawrence Weldon's paying dividends already. This is his first game playing safety for the Trojans, as he does a great job of reading the quarterback here and just jumping in the lane. Intercepting the ball at midfield and running it back.
And you know, Kevin, the thing about that is we talk about it a lot of times off air about when you have athletes like this, to put them on the field. When we played, you didn't come off the field. Your best athlete stayed on the field. Today they kind of mix and match kids to give kids opportunities. But see, he's a difference maker. When he catches the ball, it becomes a return man.
Right, right.
Oh, what a great play by Sua. My goodness.
Patrick Sua sat and waited for that. Just say, go ahead and count off your cadence. I'm ready and waiting.
Oh. Let's take a look at that one, guys, if we got it. You see Patrick Sua just coming in on a blitz there, erasing the line of scrimmage. Had a little help by Oscar Topete.
Wow. Sua. 2nd and 11. Weldon runs through the gap, doesn't get it. This one, of course, taken by Alexander, and Mondo's thrown down at about the 11-yard line. Nice hard run by Mondo.
Well, great job by the defensive end here.
Nice
Actually, it was
block.
Patrick Sua to come out from his linebacker position
Wow.
to kind of bounce that thing outside.
What a block by Ronnie Owens. You see that, everybody? Number 54 for the Trojans just ran over his defender. Now it's 3rd and 6. Guerra with Weldon right behind him. Mondo to the right. Guerra has a ton of
He's
protection.
got a man open.
Had a man open in the end zone, decided to go down low to Weldon. But he had Churchill, what we think was open, but you never know. You just never know.
Well, I'm sure, like all good wide receivers, he'll go back to the huddle and tell him, hey, man, I was open.
Why? He was. I was wide open.
Wide open.
Nobody near me.
Yeah, we got to have a conversation on that one. But give the Highland Scots defense credit, guys. They held him right there, forcing the field goal.
Linares, if he's allowed to, if they give him the green light, he could kick this thing to Breckenridge. But he just softly puts it right through the middle, and it's 10-0 Foothill. So a turnover by the Scots, intercepted. An interception by Weldon and brought him within scoring distance. Highland hangs on, and we see a nice little 9-iron right through the middle of the goalpost, and it's 10-0 Foothill High School.
Well,
another second quarter prognostication. Brian Adams, here is a sleeper game that I think could be very, very intriguing up in Tulare. Delano at 5-2. At 5-2 at Tulare Union. Brian Adams.
We're just going to stay with the Kern County flavor. Nico says we're going with Delano, the Tigers. We're a Mall in Tulare.
Wow. Well, before I let you choose your pick here, Zach in the Californian, Zach Ewing picks Tulare over Delano 50-21. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think Zach Ewing is probably one of the best high school football reporters we've had in a long time, and I respect his opinion. But you got to remember that that Delano team is the only team that beat the North High Stars so far. So I'm going to agree with Zach. I'm going to agree with Zach.
Oh, Brian, he looked me in the eye for a second and stalled. I'm going with Brian. Delano, get up there and take care of business. So those are our second quarter prognostications. Kevin and I weighing in. Brian cheating with Nico. More trickeration.
Whoa!
Oh! There's bodies flying all over the place. Ay, ay, ay.
That's a great wedge set up right there. He just needed one or two more blocks.
Man, oh man, there's some big hits out there. Here comes the return. And the first part of the play is handed to Carter. Do you see this one? Pow! We might not see this one either. Pow! There's another one.
Well, that's the one thing about reverses. One thing about reverses is guys have got to cut back, and when you cut back like that, usually your head is not on a swivel. Leave yourself wide open for those big blocks. As we saw a couple there on that play. The Scotsmen have got to make a move here as they come out and trips to the near side. Johnson, the quarterback, hands the ball to Alan Roy, who's hit immediately by Armijo.
Well, here's a look at that run back from up high on one of the Premier Equipment rentals. Pow, there's your first big hit. Man, he just laid him out. There's the next one right there. That was close to a clip, but Moreno got laid out on one. A nice run back. Thank you for that angle right there, Bernard Johnson, our director. 2nd and 15. Kevin, this time I think they should throw. Johnson will take the snap. Has to throw and hurry. And oh, that went right through the fingertips of Guerrero. What a nice pass. Brian, what are your thoughts here? I see you.
Well, Vance, you see on the replay right there, great close by the corner. But you know, one thing we have to look at is this front four for Foothill are doing a great job against the run and against pass rush.
Yeah. It's a great point, and it's something that we're going to, obviously we need to talk about is this defensive rush by Foothill. There it is, on it.
Well, and not only that, Brian, is Armijo and Perez are showing the other two good linebackers on the other side that they can play linebacker as well. As you see, this time it's intercepted by Williams. Anthony Williams made a great play on that last play. This time, he's in great position to come up with the interception.
Well, here we see again. Now this time Johnson throws, and it's picked off, as he says, right in the heart of the football field as Williams, the 5'10", 170-pound senior, has no trouble with that, and turnovers really starting to play a very negative factor in the Highland operation tonight.
That's the one thing that Coach Snead said he needed to have from his defensive back tonight in order to win this football game, and he's getting it so far from Lawrence Weldon and Anthony Williams. Speaking of Lawrence Weldon, he takes the ball on first down.
That was nice, man. That was nice.
Nice job of avoiding the tackle at the line of scrimmage. As you take a look at the BC instant replay, Lawrence Weldon, nice little cut there at the line of scrimmage to pick up about 5 or 6 yards.
And go ahead, Brian.
And guys, let's start watching the body language of the Highland high school defense players, because that could be real key. You start getting those turnovers, you keep coming back, you start feeling a little bit down, like hey, we can't get over the hump. You had a big game against Garces and you got blown out. So let's watch how these guys operate in these next few minutes.
That's a great point, Brian. As you see, Lawrence Weldon break a couple tackles at the line of scrimmage. Boy.
Well, that may contribute to your answer right there, Brian. Scotsman thought they had him wrapped up. He breaks free and gets 25 yards.
The heart and soul of this Trojan football team, making it happen on both sides of the ball tonight. Lawrence Weldon picked up about 5 yards with just one shoe on.
1st and 10-0 Foothill, starting to capitalize on Highland mistakes. This time, Mondo to the left side, patient. Finally gets caught out there by Sua. Sua pretty much in on almost every play.
Well, Fresno State loves Patrick Zua. What's not to like about the 6'2", 215-pound, versatile fullback? He's a guy they think that they can put about 20, 25 pounds on, and he can play that inside linebacker position. A backer that can run.
2nd and 8. Guerra to Weldon. Weldon stopped in his tracks, takes a big hit, still on his feet. What a great run. That was all Lawrence Weldon.
Well, you said it, Vance. That was a great effort. As you take a look at this on the instant replay, Weldon does a good job of avoiding Topete at the line of scrimmage. Another broken tackle there. Hensley can't get him.
Man.
Great job by our camera crew there picking up an outstanding run. Only just a short gain, but nonetheless, that was a play that he should have lost about 4 or 5 yards on.
Bright House Network's high school football game of the week, week 8 at Foothill High School, as they're up 10-0 with a $1.50 left here in the first half. Every Friday night exclusively on Bright House Network's channel 21 at 10:30. And each game's also available on demand. You can order for free on Bakersfield On Demand, digital channel 300 each Sunday. I'd like to thank Premier Equipment Rentals for the pregame show and these great scissor lifts. Bakersfield College for the instant replay sponsorship, and the Barber Honda Player of the Game Award presented to an outstanding player each game is, of course, sponsored by Barber Honda. Sam is already on the field with a great vehicle. Look forward to that. Don't forget, all season long, you've been voting where we go. You get to vote for the matchup every week. You visit mybrighthouse.com and vote for next week's televised game. And next week, we're heading out to Centennial, where the Golden Hawks of Centennial have had a roller coaster year. We'll be hosting North High School, so that should be a very interesting game. You know, a lot of Centennial families migrated from the North High School. Oh, here we go.
Well, that's an outstanding job by the quarterback there with a hard count to get the Scotsman the jump. Coach Hartnett is not going to be happy about this play of his defensive line. That's going to bring up a first down and goal for the Trojans.
Right out of a timeout. They come with the hard count and get it. So now it's 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Guerra in the shotgun. Will he go to the air? Oh, boy. Second quarter's been marred with penalties after a flagless first quarter. Hear the train in the background.
Well, this is something that you love to see from wing T teams that are versatile enough to get out of the wing T and get into a spread formation. A spread formation in the red zone. That's something that you don't see a whole lot.
Well, but Kevin, you know, Coach Manning has the most versatile wing T program that we've seen, because he's one of the few people that can actually really pass out of it successfully.
Coach Maples coming over from East High was another guy that threw well out of the wing T, so I'm sure he's had some influence on this as Guerra lines up again in the spread formation, hands off, fakes hands off, got a man open. Mondo Alexander out in the flats, but great job by the Scotsman defense to put outstanding pressure on Guerra. Nice little ball fake there. As that pass is incomplete. Brian Adams having a little bit of fun down on the field.
Brian's messing with one of the young ball boys.
I gotta keep the confidence up. I can't take it right now.
Young ball boy's just trying to do his job, and Brian pretty much making it very difficult on him at every go of it.
Brian's getting a little older. He better watch out. He'll pull a hamstring down there.
2nd and 5 from the 9. Guerra. Again, beautiful play, beautiful play.
Wow.
He fakes the handoff to Weldon and then gives it right back to him on a little pitch and catch. Touchdown, Foothill.
Jimmy Maples is up in the booth for his Trojans, and ball faked that play on the last play.
Right.
And I'm guaranteed Jimmy called down on the headphones and said, hey, run that play again and throw the ball to Welton because he was wide open on that last play. Great play call that time by the Trojan coaching staff.
16-0 Foothill. All of these points have come in the second quarter, and there's a minute 18 left. Watch this beautiful play, everybody. They fake it to Weldon. Everybody bites, and then he's left alone to run right at Brian Adams. Foothill's called a timeout. Coach Manning says, don't need it. Just want to make sure I don't get a delay a game. Get out there and kick the field goal.
His first touchdown.
Guerra had the first, and then
Weldon has an interception. He's got an interception. He set up for the field goal. Then he made some good moves on this one and scored.
Kern County, we're joined up top here by the
Netty boy,
by the iconic Ned Permenter. Kevin, let me have him. Coach, you got a minute with me? $1:18 left in the first half. Well executed PAT, and Coach Ned Permenter here. Coach, good to see you. What do you see so far tonight with the black and gold?
Well, they're out to a lead. It's looking pretty good right now, but we still have a half to go. So been interesting this first half. A little sluggish to begin with. They're getting a little on track the second quarter.
Coach, this year, in talking with a lot of the high school football coaches, the prevailing thought has been that really nobody is loaded up this year. Nobody really has that dominant team. One question I'd like to ask you is about this North High School Stars. You coached a lot of years against North High School, maybe resurging this year.
It looks like it. I saw the paper today. Looks like a big game over there tonight. I don't know what the score is, but I know North High people have a big interest in that game, and as well as Stockdale. That's a pretty good battle. Be interested to see how that one turns out.
Coach Joey Porter's having a resurgent year himself in Miami. He's doing a great job backing up his vociferous style. Give us your words on JP.
Well, Joey's having a great year. He's in sack wise and playing, and Dolphins are playing better ball this year, and of course Joey's never at a loss for words right now, and he likes the new defense, as he stated in the paper. I guess it frees him up a little more to go get the quarterback.
We're here with Coach Ned Permenter. Coach, Kevin Keys tonight he's kind of in a troublemaking mood. He's trying to cause a little trouble. So he basically asked me to ask you if you remember the Foothill Highland game that he was involved in. Is that right, Kevin? 1979 game, Coach. Do you remember that game?
I was there, Kevin. I'm trying to. What did you do that I forgot?
Get him, Coach.
I remember an all-star game you were in too, Kevin. Is that right?
Brian Adams, I've got Coach Permenter up here. He's all yours.
Oh, I just like to see Coach get him, because Coach gonna let you have it.
How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing well, Coach. How about yourself?
Hey, doing good. I kind of missed not seeing you down at the office anymore.
I know. We had some good times out there. We would say cuff them and stuff them, huh?
That's it. I retired at Foothill, and I became a probation officer, and I was down in the office with Brian Adams down there. We had a lot of fun. Had a good time.
We are live with Coach Permenter. Coach Collis, Jerry Collis, had a big night recently here in Kern County. Why don't you talk about that for a moment?
He was the hometown hero at Powell's, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. It's very deserving. Jerry's been around a long time, done a lot of wonderful things, and that's really a wonderful group of people down there that put that on, and it's for a great cause. And I happened to have the honor of being that hometown hero once, and that's the one I went to, and I was so impressed with all the things they do there, and the dinner, and what the money goes for. What a worthy cause that is. They have a lot of great volunteers down at that Powell Center.
Appreciate it, Coach. The county's growing. When I was at Arvin High School, it was north, south, east, west, Arvin, Foothill, BHS, and Highland. There's a lot of new schools popping up, Coach.
There certainly are. When I was here, we started a league with just 5 teams in it the first year, and so it's now we have 2 leagues with a bunch of them in it, and they're adding all the time. So we're getting bigger and bigger, aren't we?
2nd and 5, Highland at the 25. About a fumble. Ball's on the ground, and that didn't take long at all for Ronnie Churchill to jump on the offense there. Coach, before I let you go, Dennis Manning, a West High Viking, BC Renegade. Obviously now he's back at your school here coaching at Foothill. Give us your words about Coach Manning.
Hey, Coach Manning comes from a great football family. The Manning name is synonymous with, West High and good football, and he's done a great job. They got things going, and he's got, Kevin Sneed and that group down there with him, and it's a veteran coaching staff down there, Maples and Sneed and a bunch of them, and they've got Foothill going in the right direction, doing a good job.
Well, on behalf of everybody at Bright House Networks and Kern County, Coach, thanks for being with us here for a little bit. We sure appreciate it.
Well, it's great. Great to be up here tonight. And on our trick-or-treat night, let's hope that we don't get that trick the second half. Okay?
We're not going to do it. Okay. Back in a moment with the third quarter.
Okay,
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Get rid of your old gas guzzler and buy used at the Barber Honda's Used Car Super Center. With over 200 cars, you'll get Superstar treatment and state-of-the-art service at the new Barber Honda Service Center. It's the absolute best in Kern County. Find a pre-owned, fuel-efficient car that's just right for you. And Barber Honda has the largest selection of certified pre-owned Hondas. Don't wait until gas is over $6 a gallon. Start saving gas and money now at the Barber Honda Used Car Super Center. 4625 Weibel Road at the entrance to the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into geology.
Jump into culinary arts.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into music.
With an amazing low cost per credit.
Jump into a life you love.
And financial aid.
Jump into acting.
Bakersfield College is more affordable than ever.
Jump into a life you love.
Jump into college.
Your life's waiting, so jump.
With cooking, cleaning, planning, and homework to do, when it's time for TV shows, you might not make it in time to watch. So let them wait for you. You've got Startover, powered by Bright House Networks, letting you restart certain live TV shows right from the very beginning, all with just a few clicks of the select button on your remote. It's free and included with your digital cable. So when it comes to time, you've got plenty of it. Startover, powered by Bright House Networks, making life easier.
Welcome back, everybody. Halloween special tonight, October 31st, 2008, halftime. Foothill Trojans up by 17. 17-0 to score on Vance Palm. I've got Kevin Keys with me. We finished off the first half with a great chat with Coach Permenter, and I want to get to that in a few moments. But let's talk some numbers here in the first half, Kevin.
Well, we knew we had some pretty good defenses coming into this game. In particular, the Scotsman led by Patrick Sua. But tonight, defensively, it's been all Trojans. The Trojans have done a great job shutting down Alan Roy. Alan Roy had 6 carries for just 19 yards. Both quarterbacks for the Scotsman have been ineffective. Tyler Johnson was 5 attempts and only 1 completion for 2 yards. And when Prosser came in, the young sophomore, he was 0 for 2. But credit the defense, Angel Posada and Jared Armijo. That crew, they've just been all over the place. Both of those guys had 5 tackles on the night, but Lawrence Weldon has been the guy for the Trojans. He had 67 yards rushing, as we see a pretty good return there.
Well, the kickoff to start the third quarter, it was the most incredible stop of a football. It looked like it was absolutely heading into the end zone, and it just stopped on the 1-foot line, bounced straight up, and Jonathan Carter said, you know what, I'll take a shot at it, and got it out to about the 18-yard line. That was a very peculiar stoppage of a bounce. Towards the end of the third quarter, beginning the fourth quarter, Kevin Keys is going to have another the second segment of our interview with Coach Ned Permenter. Look forward to having Kevin and Coach.
The second coming of Ned.
We're going to have a nice discussion with Coach Permenter. I'll hand the headsets over to Kevin and Coach.
Go get him, wind up, get him!
Nice run out here by Roy, but he's scooped up after maybe 3 or 4 yards. 17-0 the score as we come into the third quarter. Week 8, high school football game of the week. We have heard some scores. Wow, what a big block out there on the right side.
Well, nice job from Mendoza to hustle from his defensive line position to get outside and make a tackle on a pretty shifty running back.
We hear that Stockdale's thumping north pretty well. Wow. West High handling Garces. 2nd and 6.
Oh, what a great kick out block by Sua. But Anthony Williams coming up from his cornerback position. Williams, outstanding job on the defensive side tonight for Coach Sneed and his defense as we take a look at the Halloween Queen.
Halloween Queen.
Anthony Williams had an interception in the first half, as did Lawrence Weldon. Weldon also had 5 catches for 45 yards in the first half.
3rd and 8, Johnson. Nice pass out. Oh, doggone it. Sua had a first down if he hangs on to it, but he does not, and he's despondent as this was the first down Highland could have used, and Johnson just put it right in his hands. Perfect pass.
Well, that definitely would have been close to a first down for the Scotsman had he hung on to that. A little frustration there by the Scotsman at the end of the play.
She made me do it. 4th and 8. And now Kevin Sneed, assistant coach for Foothill, calling a timeout.
Well, they had too many men on the field. And
Don DJ Enderton.
Timeout. The Scotsman, or the Trojans got away with one there. They had 12 men lined up, and Coach Sneed wisely called timeout.
That's the young man you had a word with before the game started.
Coach Gregg, another West High coach. Coach Gregg was a baseball player, outstanding baseball player for the Vikings back in the mid-'80s and went up to Bakersfield College and also played. And there's one of the finest officials that we've seen in some time. Obviously not one of the Kern County Officials Associations. It's okay. That's okay to say fine.
4th and 8. Let me get the names of our Kern County officials out, doing a heck of a job tonight.
Yeah,
nice crew.
That was a good segue for you, but you're kind of slow on that. Go to the hip pocket.
I'm gonna have to speak with Mrs. Keys. I've never seen you quite so uppity. Is that the word? Is that the word? Fourth and 8.
Jared Aguilar, the punter. End over end wobbly punt. It's going to be taken by Weldon at about the 42-yard line. Nice job by the punt team there.
Kern County Officials Association names are referee Derek Griffith, umpire John Crosby, the line judge Chandel Ziegler, the head linesman is Rory Clark, and the back judge is Randy Merriman. So Griffith, Crosby, Ziegler, Clark, and Merriman.
Merriman got some outstanding young men. His congratulations to his son, Randy.
First 10 Foothill.
Recently married.
Traffic jam in the backfield as Alvarado can't get past his own teammates, and actually a loss of 5 yards. Foothill leads by 17. Highland has not scored. We are in the third quarter at Foothill.
I don't know who we're going to give credit to on the tackle there, but we'll give it to Steven Montebias.
Sua came into tonight, by the way, with 84 tackles, a sack, 3 block kicks, and an interception. And as we see a flag.
I think we're going to catch one of the offensive linemen for moving too soon. That's the call.
Next week, we will be at Centennial High School as the Golden Hawks will host the North High Stars. From what we hear, North High's getting handled right now by Stockdale, and then they'll go to Centennial next week where Coach Nixon will have all of his guys back. You remember we called that one game where Liberty put it on Centennial, and not making excuses for anyone, but Centennial was really short as far as their receiver crew. Here comes Weldon on the pitch to the left side. Weldon has some room. Weldon behind the blockers, and a nice job of blocking out there by Mondo, and a big run that gets him back to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, gets a good block there from his receiver, Alvarado. Mondo doing a good job there mixing it up. Weldon, I love his patience as a running back. He's a very speedy guy, but just kind of glided out there till he picked up a block or two and then shifted into gears. You love to see it when those running backs have gears to shift into.
3rd and 9. Guerra from the shotgun, rolls to his right, look out, takes a big hit, and oh goodness.
What a great effort there, a little one-handed effort by Mondo Alexander. Almost came up with a Jake Peterson-like grab. As you take a look at the BC instant replay, ball is slightly overthrown, but Mondo went up for that ball and almost came down with it. That's going to bring on Linares, the punter. And the Scotsmen need a big return here from their playmaker, O'Leary, as Linares gets the punt off. It's going to be taken by Ashton Hensley.
Hensley still on his feet and probably advised to go down, but doesn't.
Check that, John Carter is the
Well, Brian, your Bruins have a bye week. They're not playing, but the Trojans are favored by 44.5 over Washington. What's happening with the Pac-10 this year, Brian?
The Pac-10 has a standing 8 count right now, guys.
Wow. Hey, Brian, do you feel this hurts SC's chances for a title game? Because
well, I think that that's what's going to hurt SC is that the conference is so weak. The teams are so poor this year that they're not going to get enough points for strength of schedule.
I concur. Everybody out to the right side here for Highland. They need to get something going here on offense. Quarterback this time around, Matthew Prasser. Pass play, passer, throws it out there, and nice design of a play. He's meant to pitch it out to Alan Roy, but threw him behind him and to the left, and Roy never saw it coming, Kevin.
Well, as you see, Prosser here just kind of is forced to get rid of the ball early, but Alan Roy never saw it coming. And that's there's a case where Roy he's got to turn and look for the ball sooner.
You're exactly right on that, Kevin. I mean, they just look out of sync offensively. You know, whether it's trying to run the ball or pass the ball, they just don't seem to have any momentum or anything clicking so they can get that rhythm going and start getting that confidence. You don't see the bounce in any of the players' steps on offense or defense.
High formation for the Scots. Suo right behind Prosser. The handoff this time goes to Roy. Foothill all over it.
And that's one of the main reasons why this offense can't get anything going is because through the core of the defense, they have not been able to run the ball effectively. As you take a look at here at Alan Roy, who's going to be met by Big Angel Posada.
Everybody.
Daniel Perez.
You know, and anytime you have a defense, when your front four can play that dominant, it just makes it that much easier for the other guys to play defense. You end up having an advantage on any level when you have that happening. So right now you got 4 guys up front. They're just dominating the game for Foothill, making it easy for the other 7.
7.5 left here in the third. 3rd and 10. Prosser sending guys all over the place. They better hurry up and get the play called. They get it off. Look out behind you. Prosser running, tosses it out there. What a nice play. And of all people to come down with it, a nice catch out there by Oglesby. First down, Highland. Oglesby, Kevin.
John Oglesby, the son of a Highland High School second-generation player, Tom Oglesby. Outstanding player in the late 70s for the Scotsman. As you take a look at John there, and my sister Stephanie Olish actually introduced those two, arranged that date, and next thing you know, those 4 or 5 years later, they're married. True story.
Prosser looking for some room. Oh, what a nice play out there by Omar Moreno. Moreno saves what would have been a very big run out there by the quarterback, Prosser. Nice play, Omar.
Well, Prosser is the sophomore quarterback that's seeing time, splitting time with Tyler Johnson. He's the quarterback that they like to see run the football, but a great job there, as you mentioned, Vance, by Omar Moreno to come up with a tackle.
At the beginning of the fourth quarter, Kevin Keys will have the conclusion of the interview with head coach Ned Permenter. Coach Permenter up with us here tonight on top of the announcer's booth. And Kevin, while we have a timeout, we'll kind of talk a little bit about your relationship with Coach Permenter. And I know that you had a pivotal role in one of your family members coming to Foothill, and that young man made a mark here.
Well, Rashawn Chee was one of those guys that you talked about. He came, a young cousin of mine, who came to live with me and my wife Jennifer and our two children, Dustin and Brittany. We brought him in from South Central LA when things got a little tough down there. A lot of gang violence going on, and I felt very comfortable sending him to school to play for Coach Permenter and Rick Morrell and that crew in the early 90s. And Sean has nothing but kind words to say about Ned and the mentoring that he received from him. And the one thing that Ned made sure that Rashawn did was made sure that he went to school on class on time and helped get him a full ride scholarship to the University of Washington. So Ned Permenter is one of those guys that will be forever endeared by our family.
Brian, I know you have a close relationship with Ned for a lot of different reasons. During football, post-football, your thoughts?
Well, you know, one thing is Ned was out here, like he said, started the school. My father was a PE teacher out here with Ned, and he's been around involved my family for a long time. So he's just a great guy who really cares about people, and I think that's the main thing that makes him special.
Prosser to Oglesby. Oglesby cuts upfield, and Weldon not going to be able to take down Oglesby. And that's a nice play, and I think they might have locked into something here. Might not be the speediest guy, but as you can see, Oglesby as tough as they get, and he catches it.
Well, Prosser has given this team a little bit of spark. They're going to the underclassmen now to lead the way for the Scotsman. Oglesby, as you take a look at this big lumbering guy, he's just a junior, and I'm sure with Fresno State coming down to take a look at Patrick Sua, I'm sure they can't help but notice that young man.
Well, Lawrence Weldon gave it his best effort, maybe. First and 10. Here comes Highland. Prosser now hands it to Roy. Roy gets a yard or two, so Highland's starting to get some life. 5:22 left here in the third quarter. Again, our thanks to Premier Equipment Rentals for these great scissor lifts that come directly from the oil fields to the football stadiums, and also for our pregame show that's hosted by Kevin.
Let's take a look at this play by Alan Roy here. Good job by Daniel Perez to come up from his linebacker position. Got a little help from Jared Armillo and Angel Posada, the three leading tacklers on this team. All of them had a say on that tackle there.
Also thanks to Bakersfield College for our instant replay, and Barber Honda for the Player of the Game Award. 2nd and 9. Prosser pitches out to Roy. Roy looking for some space. Nice block out there, and I think Sua's looking for a defensive hold. He's trying to make a block, and he's getting pulled down into the grass, but he's not going to get the call.
Well, great job from Mike Gomez to come up here from his cornerback position, number 15, put his head right across the football there and make the tackle. Great job of stopping Roy for no gain. That'll bring up 3rd and 9 for the Scotsman.
Prosser?
I'll tell you this, guys. I'll tell you who would not get a free release on this one is the tight end.
Absolutely.
Oglesby would get hit. I don't care what we're doing. He's going to get hit off the line.
Well, keep an eye on number 45. He's lined up on the right side there at tight end. You're right, Brian. That's definitely a guy I would go to in this situation.
Fumble!
Oh, and big guy, big Angel Posada, who's been making his mark in the A-gap all night, comes up with a turnover.
Well, we see on the instant replay, Patrick turns around and pitches. I don't know if we'll see it. We do. He just threw it right into the hands of Alan Roy, but Roy was taken off without it. And oh boy, just when Highland was starting to get some momentum and move down the football field, it drops right into the lap of the big guy.
Angel Posada is listed at 6'1", 280 pounds, but this program was printed quite some time ago. I think Angel might be close to 300 pounds.
What's the old saying about luck is hard work and meeting at the intersection of something like that. Don't quote me on that old cliche, but Coach, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Thank you, Coach. Preparation meets opportunity, and that's where Mr. Posadas was the recipient of that one. He's been working hard, and the opportunity presented himself, so perfect. I knew Coach Permenter would bail me out. Look out, look out. Oh, boy, well done.
That's right, Brian. That's the same play. Talked to Coach Maples at halftime. He said, Kevin, we're going to come back to that play. You watch. That'll be open all night for us. And here it is.
He barely got it off. Nice hustle out there.
Oh, and that's what I love to see. Little guy lower his shoulder and deliver the hit on a big-time player. Here's the play of the fumble recovery by big Angel Posada. Not the greatest toss sweep, but nonetheless, big Angel Posada comes up with the ball.
Guerra rolls to his right, tosses it up, overthrows everybody, so no chance of an interception or a reception. Guerra, as we know, is a very strong arm. Brian, remember that game last year at Highland, Foothill at Highland. The wind was coming off from the northwest and just blowing right across the field into the teeth of the wind. Guerra was throwing 55-yarders on a dime. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing about another have a strong arm, but what we like about him is he's a great decision maker. And he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions, so he keeps the possession on your side, basically. So he's going to always give you an opportunity to have a chance to score points.
And if you take a look at him all night, he's always giving instruction on the field to his players. Just a great field general. As he drops back to pass here.
Intercepted!
Picked off.
At the 50-yard line. Kyle Lamucci in the right place at the right time, where preparation and opportunity present themselves for Lamucci. The ball comes in right here, and it is hit by Sua and right into Lamucci's hands. So Highland back in it, so to speak, with 2.5 left here in the third.
Well, Vance, I pulled that. He's made 10 free throws in a row because the one time we talk about his great decision-making, he throws it into triple coverage.
Well, and both receivers were basically running right into each other as well. The routes were a little convoluted as well, so a lot of traffic over there on the green and white jerseys.
4 receivers lined up.
Everybody out to the left side, basically. Lamucci, the only one on the left side.
Double pass.
Lamucci wide open across the middle. Oh, boy. Sorry, that was Hensley. Hensley, what a nice play that was. Wide open as O'Leary to Hensley.
Well, this play was set up very nicely. As you see Johnson there kind of wobble the ball out to O'Leary. Just could have had a little more air under that ball, would have given Ashton Hensley some time to run under it.
That's why he plays receiver.
First and 10, 49-yard lines. Should be second down, 2nd and 10. They don't have it right on the board, but it is 2nd and 10 after that attempt. Now back in Tyler Johnson at QB. Foothill coming at him. Johnson. 6 tough yards, 7 tough yards. A nice job of just carrying some defenders on his back as the clock will dip below 2 minutes left here in the third quarter.
That's a great read by Johnson here to run this ball. As you see Jared Armijo leave on a blitz from his linebacker position. Picks up about 5 yards on the play. 3rd and 5 for the Scotsman. As they check with coach on the sideline. They're in the spread position. Spread formation.
They're in a man-to-man coverage with no help up top. They have to make them pay for this.
Absolutely. And there's a guy right there, O'Leary.
run right at Brian Adams. A little bit of contact coming down the sidelines, but evidently not enough to warrant any penalty.
Well, no, but one of the things you got to do when you line up on that sideline like that close, you have to do something off the line. When you got a guy pressed up, take your time. Move him inside a little bit and then flare out so you give yourself and the quarterback some room to throw. But when you just take off running like that, you almost make it easy for the defensive back to run you out of bounds and make it a tough throw for the quarterback.
And Johnson hasn't been as crisp with his throws. There have a lot of wobblers recently. Not that that was that big of a factor in it, but you want to try to accentuate all your positives when you're down 17.
There's a fake punt. It's going to go to Sua.
Sua fumble! Now it's picked up. Oh, boy.
Might be back to him. I think Highland, oh, no, they're saying it's still Foothill down.
Herbert Marino.
Marino picks up the Sua fumble. Highland thinks they fumbled on the back end of the whole play. The officials say no, he was down. And so much trickeration and then turnoverisms that our Bright House production crew along for the ride.
Little trick or treat.
After all of that, 1st and 10 Foothill at the 38-yard line. Buck and a half left here in the third. Weldon up the middle, looking for some space. He's such a confident runner. He never feels that he's down, that he's always looking for space when he's running. 1:20 left here in the third.
Well, Weldon is having an outstanding game tonight for the Trojans. As you see that great block there by number 77, J.C. Spradling. He's a guy that'll get some attention from some colleges next year. 6'4", 245 pounds.
Timeout for a measurement, Kevin, sorry.
Great job by J.C. Spradling to block downfield.
Well, we've got a youngster who's probably had quite a bit of Halloween vibrations tonight. I doubt she's been chewing on any candy, but Kevin, did you have any sweets today? Any office sweets? Anybody passing around?
Went down to the Dream Center today. Had a little caramel macchiato.
Why is it that you're not taking out your colleague here for lunch once in a while?
You're big time with me, man. You're running around with those NBA guys from the front office.
It's true. It's true. What can I say? What can I say?
All right.
Buck 20 left in the third. Foothill up 17. They've been in command for quite a while. Highland started to get a vibration, coughed it up. Right up the front goes Alexander, but it looks as though there was some offsides infractions by Highland. They were trying to bring the kitchen sink at him, and I think they turned the faucet on too early. No.
Illegal shift.
Oh, boy. I thought that somebody from the Scotsman got over a little bit too early, but it's going to be against Foothill.
Well, that's the one thing about the wing tee offense. You get a lot of down blocks, and when you get a blitzing linebackers, just almost makes their job a little easier.
When we come back after the quarter break, Kevin Keys is going to have the second edition of our interview tonight with head coach Ned Permenter with us at Foothill High School. We're going to just stay here, not go to break, and spend some time with Coach Permenter. 1st and 15, Guerra goes to his right, has a man open, and wow, he really underthrew that one because Alvarado was behind his defender, and Guerra, we know, has the arm strength, just underthrew him. If you watch from this angle, you won't see the separation. He vastly separated himself from his DB, but underthrows him. Second and 15. Guerra will go right behind center. Has Weldon and Alexander behind him. Wants to throw it again. They go back to Alexander this time.
He's got some room. This is going to be a big play. Oh, what a great job by Ashton Hensley to come up. Actually, it's number 14 for the Scotsman.
Lamucci.
Kyle Lamucci to come up. Kind of foil this play. But that was a good-looking play setting up. Good job of avoiding the block there.
Big hit.
Lamucci from a long line of Scotsmen. The last of the Lamuccis.
Sounds like a movie. Sounds like a movie. The last of the Lamuccis. Well, at least this generation.
Older brother went on, he played ball at football and baseball up at Highland, went on to UCLA, was a cheerleader at UCLA.
All right, this is going to do it for the third quarter. Coach, I'm going to bring you in, and pretty much what you've been hoping for all night. Kevin Keys is going to interview you. Ned Permitter and Kevin Keys.
Coach Permitter, welcome. Welcome to the Bright House Network game. Hey, listen, you know, we talk about the legacy here, the tradition of Foothill High School. You were here since the early 60s, got a chance to coach some pretty outstanding players here. Talk about some of those guys. Who do you remember from the early days?
Oh, my goodness, there's so many. And, you know, I look across the field, and Coach Hartnett over there was back in the early 60s. And I look over here to my right and see Artie Gonzalez on the headphone up here. And just to mention the Highland quarterback, that young Johnson, his dad played for him, his mom was their cheerleader. So you get started, and I want to thank you for your cousin, Rashawn Shealy. For those people that don't know him, a great back that went on to set records at University of Washington, played ahead of Corey Dillon up there and went with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I owe you one on that, Kevin. And I want to say that over halftime with your prodding, my memory jogged back enough to give you your props. Kevin Keys, sports fans, Foothill had a long drought. Highland did against Foothill scoring back in those days, and Kevin Keys broke that drought with a touchdown run in 1979, Kevin, so I want to give you your props. That turned the tide and changed things forever, didn't it?
All these years I thought the Alzheimer's had kicked in. No, and you do remember
with
that.
With enough prompting, I remembered it, Kevin.
Coach, outstanding character. You know, Coach Wood talked about he wouldn't be able to tell how good a player would be until years later. And some of those guys that played for you were good players, but they turned out to be good men as well. One of those guys, John Baker, Dr. Baker.
Dr. Baker's my physician, and I tell you what, you don't want a guy operating on you that has a bad feeling about double sessions or something of that nature.
Lawrence Weldon takes a handoff there from Guerra on third down.
You know, my dentist is Dr. John Alexander, who was another fine player here, and of course, Mike Maggard, the councilman, and used to be chief of police, Steve Brummer, and I think there's 3 judges in town that used to play for me, and I never get jury duty because the two lawyers last time were both Foothill players and the judge and 6 people in the jury, so that, you know, you coach long enough, it has benefits, I guess.
That's right. The Osborne was another one of your
Pat
players.
Osborne is an attorney in town here, a great one, yes.
So 4th and 1. For the Trojans, they're going to go for it. They give the toss sweep to Weldon. He's got some room on the outside, still on his feet. An outstanding effort. Did he get in? No, they're going to spot it down at about the 1-yard line, but what a great play by Lawrence Weldon as we see a nice toss sweep. He's led by his offensive lineman, number 54, Ronnie Owens, and right into Carlos, our cameraman. Great shot there, guys. 1st down and goal for the Trojans. We'll come back with Coach Ned Permitter right after this play. Guerra's going to sneak it in. And we're still waiting on the call. 2nd down and goal. They're going to say that he didn't get in. Little extra pushing there. Little settle down, guys. Settle down. Well, this will be interesting to see who this is going to go against. You see Matt Guerra lose his hat for the Trojans. Anytime you throw a punch, you get ejected from the game, and I think that's might be the case here. So that's going to bring in a backup. Jerry Huckabee will come in, 5'9", 180-pound senior lineman. Coach, you talk about some of the outstanding players that you've had here. You tell a great story about a young man that ended up playing Division I basketball, could have played professional football as well.
Well, you know, we had Lonnie Shelton, who was 6'8", 240, and he was running tailback for us, and I wasn't very smart because I had another kid named Gary Blackford sitting on the bench, so I put him at tailback as a sophomore, and he went for 1,800 yards the last 6 games, and Lonnie moved to tight end, and of course, people don't realize he was an All-American in 3 sports: football, basketball,
shot putter,
and track. Set all the records, won a state meet and everything, and he became an All-Pro in the NBA and won a world championship with the Seattle Supersonics. So there's another young man that did very well, outstanding. You just don't get, I think Terry Betterton from Fresno B said after 35 years of covering high school ball, he thought Lonnie Shelton was the finest all-around high school athlete he ever saw.
Wow.
Maybe that's true. That's quite a compliment.
That is an excellent compliment. I can remember watching him as a young boy. Also, you know, you talk about some of those guys that the outstanding kicking family, the Bakers. Boy,
yes.
Talk about the legacy of that family here.
Well, I coached the dad, Dr. Bill Baker, and I know they didn't get their kicking ability from him. So their mom was an outstanding track star in Kern County, so maybe that's where the leg came from.
Garrett's going to toss the ball again to Lawrence Weldon. He's going to be stopped just short of the goal line by John Oglesby, the outstanding junior linebacker. Let's take a look at this on the BC Instant Replay. Pretty good blocking up front by the Trojans, but a fine job by the Highland defense to not allow him to get in. 3rd and 3 for the Trojans.
You know, Kevin, getting back to the Bakers, that's the first one I had. One weekend, Jonathan Baker kicked a field goal and extra points in the pros, and Stephen Baker did it in college, and Ryan Baker did it in high school. So like the Zendejas brothers, all 3 kickers scored at every level during the weekend.
The fabulous Baker boys. As we take a look at the fabulous Trojans, they give the ball again to their workhorse, Lawrence Weldon, and he gets in for the score. Lawrence Weldon scores his 2nd touchdown on the night. Brian, what do you see down there?
Well, the front guys are just doing a great job of outplaying the Highland fronts, and Weldon just falling in, running hard, running strong. He's a fun player to watch, Kevin.
Well, talk about fun players, Coach Permitter. You got a chance to coach against Brian Adams, our outstanding field general down there. What do you remember about Brian Adams?
Brian was quick and good. I hate to say it. He played on an outstanding Bakersfield team that, they were good. And Brian was good too. And he went down to UCLA and kept going. I had a little-known fact. I coached with Brian's dad at Foothill High School. He was a Foothill guy, and Brian's fast, but his dad was a world-class hurdler. Might have been the best in the world.
Absolutely.
For Kansas. And he could beat most people running the hurdles with him running along in the lane beside him sprinting. He was really quick. Quicker than you, Brian.
We'll never know.
The great Lee Adams. I hear stories about him all the time when my uncle and my dad get together and they talk about the greats of Kern County. And we're here with a great one tonight, Coach Ned Permitter. Ned, my junior year, I actually moved into the Foothill District and had a chance to, one of your assistant coaches' son and I were best friends. You're actually here with another one of his sons tonight, the Ezell family.
Right.
Kevin Ezell and you guys are like your sidekicks.
That's right. Coach Ezell, if you want to talk about a coach, Coach Ezell, I say assistant coach. He wasn't assistant, he was a coach. He coached me 37 years. You don't see that hardly anymore. A guy that coaches with you 37 years, and here's a story. He never missed a day of school in all those years, and he was never late. You know, that's unheard of. And you talk about a loyal coach and a great guy. Bob Ezell was a great North High quarterback, and he also was on that quarterback on the Rose Bowl team at Bakersfield College that won the Rose Bowl national champions. He's a heck of a coach and a heck of a player and a heck of a person.
So Linares is going to kick off for the Trojans. It's going to be taken by O'Leary. He hands the ball off to Nichols. Nichols has got some room on the right side, still on his feet. Crossing 30, down to the 40. Down at about the 43-yard line. So on Halloween night, where it's trick or treat, the Scotsmen have had plenty of tricks tonight. as we see young Nichols, Tyler Nichols, run the ball. He's tackled at about the 43-yard line, and 24-0 in the fourth quarter with 9:35 to go. The Trojans have come up big tonight.
Kevin, you were on a story about moving into Foothill or something there for a while.
Well, we were talking about that. We actually moved from the Highlands district to Foothill, and Coach Ezell said, okay, Kevin, we need a running back this year. This is a good time for you to just come on over and be a Trojan. You know you guys will never beat us. You guys have never beaten us. I said, that's all right, Coach. We'll beat you guys here pretty soon. And as you mentioned when you were talking to Vance earlier, you did remember that.
And you did beat us?
1979, Coach. I believe it was.
Boy, my memory is going blank right now. I don't recall that one,
I
Kevin.
believe it was 14-6 right here on this field.
You probably did, Kevin. And listen, are you trying to say we didn't recruit you or we did? Okay, what are you saying here?
You didn't recruit me. You said that there was an option. There was a chance that I could come over.
That's good.
Because we know recruiting is illegal.
Well, the statutes of limitations have expired. Okay.
By about 50 years. Brian, I don't even know if you were born then. As you see Tyler Johnson roll out to his right, had a man open just outside the outstretched arms of Sean O'Leary. Actually, Tyler Nichols was the intended receiver.
Kevin, I'm not going to tell you how old I was when you had that run.
79, you were born. I know that.
I was born, but I'm not going to tell you how old I don't want you to have to go see a therapist or anything tomorrow.
Well, we know our producer Bernie Johnson was alive. Johnson in the spread formation. Overthrows his intended receiver. Intended for number 21, Ruben Guerrero. And just a tough night for both of the Scotsman quarterbacks, as that brings up 4th and 10. Coach, we want to thank you for taking the time to be on the show tonight. It's always great to have the legends of Kern County. And the one thing that I really appreciate as an athlete from Kern County is all the great mentors that we have around town. And guys like you make high school football very, very special and most memorable.
Well, that's awfully kind of you to say. It's my pleasure to be here. I've been up at top of this stadium for a long time. I guess I've been retired now 7 years, and I think I counted up. I've gone to over 500 games and only missed like 2 in my life on a weekend. So I must like it, or I'm a glutton for punishment. But it's great to be up here. You guys do a great job. Thanks for having me and allowing me to be up here tonight.
Thanks, Coach. Tell Virginia we said hello.
All right, that's good. That means that'll verify I showed up here tonight.
Coach, thanks a lot.
Okay. All right, thank you, guys.
Well, Vance Palmback joins us back here on the headset. He had a nice little break, took a nice nap over there.
Well, I was listening to, thank you, Coach, listening into all the nostalgia, and this Kern County just, very special community. I'm sure everybody feels that way about where they've grown up and where they played their sports, but there's just something very unique about this area, and who better to encapsulate that than Ned Permenter. And fortunately for Bright House Networks, we have you, we have Brian, guys that are so tapped into the community. It's a pleasure for our viewers, fortunate for our viewers. What a great story.
You know, one thing that Coach doesn't talk about is that he was a great athlete himself in high school and college. And he's at Wasco Howard. He's in the Hall of Fame there. Football, he did basketball, he did baseball, he did track. You know, he did it when you play 4 or 5 sports.
That's right.
And when he came to Foothill, he was here to be the baseball coach. And ended up turning into the football coach and being legendary. So, you know, he's one thing, he's always humble, really never talks about himself, but I was fortunate to work with him when he worked with probation with us and got to hear a lot of stories where we talked about his upbringing and playing in Wasco and then going on to play baseball in college and doing well for himself.
Well, doing well then is Lawrence, who gets another 3 yards there, and he continues to pile up his yards. We'll dip below 8 minutes now left in this football game. Week 8 of High School Football Game of the Week exclusively on Bright House Networks. And we're out at Foothill High School on Halloween night, where Foothill is handling Highland, and Highland has not been able to get it together on offense.
Lawrence Weldon has been the key for the Trojans all night, doing it on both sides of the ball. He's over 100 yards rushing on the night, about 70, 80 yards receiving, over 6 catches, and he has an interception.
This will be the easiest Barbara Honda.
Fumble!
Well, if you want to enter in discussions about Barbara Hondas, Brian, Angel Posada is another guy. Jared Armijo are both guys that make a strong case for that award as well.
3rd and 6 was the play. Now it's going to be a 4th down and long. Guerra mishandles the snap. They'll have to punt it. Edgar Linares will handle the punting. Low snap, bobbled. Look out, Edgar. Will he try to put the foot on it? No dice. So Highland High School, the recipient of a botched punt attempt because of the low snap. And with 7 minutes left, you just never know. I thought right about here he might try to go for the old Gary Permian boot. Didn't happen.
But you never know what those soccer guys, they come up with.
No big deal for them.
Well, Linares is a brave soccer player.
1st and 10 for Highland on the 24-yard line. Now all of a sudden they're in the neighborhood just like that, but they've got a long way to go here to make up ground as far as points. Roy looking to get outside. Does get outside. Roy with a nice bit of running right there. Hey, 1st down Highland. That looks sharp.
And that's something that Alan Roy shows, is the ability to stretch the field and get to the edge. As you see him, nice little stiff arm there to pick up about 4 or 5 extra yards after that stiff arm.
1st and goal from the 9. Highland looking to creep in. Under 7 minutes left in the football game. Nice Halloween breeze starting to come in from the northeast. Fumble! Oh, boy. Look at that. Omar Moreno comes up with a Halloween gift as Highland starting to get into scoring territory. The ball just coughs right up out of his hands and into Moreno's hands.
Well, that's the second time that the Scotsmen have been threatening to score and fumbled the ball in the red zone. Both times, a botched handoff to Alan Roy.
Wow, that hurts. That hurts.
So the Trojans are +4 on the turnover. As they give the ball to a new running back.
Oh, and now they end up with a safety. Or do they?
They're going to spot momentum at the 1 yard line.
Well, I don't know how that could not be a safety. The coaches from Highland High School beside themselves saying, how could this not be a safety? Let's see. He's about at the 1 yard line, and
that's a great call.
Well, they drug him in there, so nice call by the officials. Steven Gonzalez drug him into the end zone, so excellent call by the officials. Now Foothill calls a timeout, so a bit of disarray amongst the Trojan squad there.
Great call by Randy Merriman, our back judge. As you take a look at the BC instant replay here, number 25, James Hanna is the ball carrier. Not sure where to go.
So they stop forward progress at about the 1 foot line and then drag him into the end zone. So a great job there, and also the line judge, Chandel Ziegler, right on it. Brian, the Z-Man, got that call on target.
Yep, that's my man Zig right there, Vance.
What a call. Highland High School coaches will see this and then say, well, you got that right. We're upset about it, but he's right. Next week we're at Centennial, where they'll host the North High School Stars. Should be an interesting game in week 9. And then 1 week after that, 2 weeks from tonight, can you believe it? The final week of regular season football. Our first full year with Kevin Keys with us on television. Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies when you're having fun, but I'd love to have a 3-day weekend over on the coast, maybe. A little Morro Bay action. Pat Ryan, warm up the house. We'll be over there soon.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
Oh, man, well, when we going? When we going?
All right, I'll pick up Jeff Adams and we'll come by. Hey, look at this. Hard count.
Highland gave him 5 yards.
Well, that'll give the Trojans a little more running room. 24-0.
2nd and 13. Kevin, you've already got the Bright House Network's production crew arguing about what bed they're going to sleep in at the beach. You've really started something here. You know what? You've been in a lot of trouble tonight, Kevin. You've caused, we're going to start getting texts and phone calls and emails from guys like Farr, Roberts. Who else did you throw under the bus?
Well, you know, I don't think any of those guys can whoop me, so I'm not really.
What about Adams? What about Jeff?
Not a chance.
Oh. 2nd and 13. Guerra backs it up for a second. Barks out an audible. Sends Alexander a bit out to the slot. And now too much time. So, discombobulation.
Well, that can't happen right there. That can't happen.
Nope.
Well, you talk about the leadership that Matt Guerra brings as a quarterback, and you gotta think that a lot of this is because of some of the fresh players that they've put into the ball game. But that indecision there, you can't blame Guerra on that. I'm sure the coaching staff will take that one.
24-0, snap the ball, hand it off.
Guerra puts it up there. Oh, boy. And, of course, it was intended out there for the speedy Ronnie Churchill, but maybe the wind from the east caught it.
Well, Brian is being his facetious self, but you're right. You're up 24-0. Snap the ball, run the ball, and let's get this thing going.
Yeah.
You certainly don't want to throw the ball second down.
Well, I think on that play before, Garrett's trying to talk and change plays and audibles.
Right.
No need to at that point. You had 5 yards up. You were pinned down. They gave you some room. Snap the ball, hand it off. And if you punt, you punt. But now you couldn't run the clock off. You lost seconds off the clock. The clock is your ally, not your enemy.
Look out!
That's the safety.
Fumble!
That's the safety. It should be a safety, but they didn't call it. Yeah, there they go. It's gonna be grounding, getting a safety. See that's what we're talking about. You hand the ball off 2 times, you punt it, and you got your shutout still intact, and now you got to make Highland drive, and you're up 24-0.
Well, Brian, you make a perfect point there, and Coach Hartnett, you know, as ecstatic as anybody, pumping the fist. They got the safety. Good coaching there. Kevin, your thoughts?
Well, I think that this gives Highland some momentum. You know, that's the 2-point safety, and now Highland is going to have to punt the ball to the Scotsman with excellent field position. There's still 5 minutes and 48 seconds left on the clock. And this is going to be a great character builder for the Scotsman. They may not be able to pull this thing out with just 5 minutes to go, but this could be a tail point for their season and also something to build on for next week.
Well, Kevin, one thing when we played with Homer Smith, he would always tell us is no matter what the score is in the game, whether you're up 40 or you're down 40, you have to play the game like it means something. You don't want to make silly mistakes and breathe that in. You always want to play to play fundamentally sound football. And right there, that was just a lack of concentration on the Foothill Trojans right there.
Well, you're up 40 or down 40. You want to execute. Basically what we're saying, fellas, right?
You got to play hard for 4 quarters. That's right, Brian.
5:48 left. A unique score, 24-2. So, interesting scenarios, interesting possibilities here. But what I can tell you is Coach Manning and Coach Sneed and the coaching staff at Foothill did not mix words with the Foothill players in between the time the players came off the field and when they went back out to do the kickoff right now. They were very direct, very succinct, and very animated in what they had to say to their players.
And that's the mark of a good football coach when you do that. Whether you're up 40 or down 40, you're still going to coach your athletes on what's right and what's wrong. And on that last series, there was a lot wrong for the Trojans.
And now they'll kick off to Highland. It's about a pitching wedge, and it's going to be taken by Oglesby. Sorry, not Oglesby. Hensley takes it, and now they have the ball exactly dead center, middle of the football field. 1st and 10, Highland at the 50.
Well, that's just a little pop-over kick by Linares. Not a bad idea. They had the opportunity to free kick or kick off. They chose to kick it off. And gives the Scotsman excellent field position just at midfield.
Bright House Networks Bakersfield, your local sports production leader in all areas, high school football, Cal State basketball, Bakersfield Condors hockey, Bakersfield Jam basketball, and then everything they have on demand. I formation, Johnson. This time hands the football off to Daryl Bolden. Bolden, the 5'4", 135-pound sophomore, going to get some action.
Bolden is one of those guys that they really like. They love his speed and quickness. Not a very big player. They've got Bolden listed at just 130 pounds. 135, 5'4".
Second and 7. Johnson looks, tosses this one out to Sua. Sua hangs on to it, falls out of bounds, but not until he picks up a nice first down.
Nice pass that time by Tyler Johnson, the junior quarterback, as he throws the ball on the run. Good looking young junior. Comes from pretty good stock, as Coach Ned Permitter mentioned. His mother, a former Chipman Charger cheerleader, Tawana Marcellus.
A lot of bloodline chat between you and Coach.
Bloodline.
Roy dodges one tackle, still on his feet, goes backwards now, but gets about 4 yards.
You talk bloodline, that young man, Alan Roy, his uncle was an outstanding Trojan back in the 70s. Steve Acosta.
Big Steve's son was a good high school football player at Tehachapi too.
That's right.
2nd and 6. Highland need very improbable comeback to pull out a win here. Johnson has his man picked off.
Second interception. Yeah, that's right. Anthony Williams still on his feet.
Oh, man.
Finally brought down at about the 34-yard line.
Well, Nichols got behind him, and Johnson just didn't get the pass there. It's picked off, and
Vance, I got to tell you, Coach Steve before the game, he said, you know, doggone it, we would be a very good football team if we could just get some play from our defensive backs. These guys have not done anything for us all night, but tonight, Anthony Williams has 2 interceptions and Lawrence Weldon 1, and he's got some outstanding play from just about all of his defensive defensive backs tonight. So there you go, Coach Sneed.
Well, I'll tell you, and this is now, Kevin, when you really want to work on running the game clock out and finishing the team off. Can you control that ground game right now and run the clock out? Because you're going to need it when you get into the playoffs.
Absolutely.
1st and 10, Foothill. A reminder for all of you ardent viewers, you faithful viewers, we'll be at Centennial next week for the Golden Hawks North Stars football game, and just exactly what nobody wants, a penalty right here, no matter who it's called on. Barber Honda Player of the Game. We'll start that discussion here in a few moments. We've kind of hinted at some possibilities. Nothing official yet. Gets marched off against the Trojans.
So Corey Costello and Peyton Williams of KERN 1410 are calling a pretty big game in the SYL tonight. Got a score of 43-14. Stockdale is up on the Stars.
Stockdale thumping North High School right now, so.
And watch the finish on this game, on this run right here. He does a great job of understanding the clock. He doesn't go out of bounds. He's going to fall down right now, keeps the clock moving. Great job by Weldon. My pick for Barber Honda Player of the Game.
Well, Brian carries a lot of weight. Our young guy with seniority.
Well, I'm not going to argue with the young guy, I tell you what.
Well, talk about staying in bounds and keeping the clock running. We went straight down on the hash mark right there. I'll be rolling into the North Centennial game next week, coming directly from Buck Owens Crystal Palace, the Bakersfield Jam hosting Kern County for the NBA D-League draft party. I'd like to see you and Brian there. Stop by Buck's place and see who we choose.
Well, you send an invitation and we just might show up.
Guerra tosses it out there.
Again, the clock is your ally. Run the ball at that point, Garrett. Don't throw it, just run the ball.
Absolutely.
Lamucci almost got his second interception, and as we see here, you're right, Brian. Guerra just trying to make some plays here.
Big weekend for youth football, sports fans. If you are free and want to get out and see some playoff football, show up at Bakersfield High School. It'll be the playoffs for the throwback junior NFL football league. Also some flag football out at Greenfield, SMAF.
Well, they're pretty much doing it all right now. It was caught out there by Jonathan Carter. He pitched it out to Sean O'Leary. O'Leary gets it to the 45-yard line. Didn't hesitate, knew exactly what he wanted to do. Just pitched it and said, let me block for you, young man.
That's not a bad guy to have the ball, Sean O'Leary. Pretty good wheels.
Speaking of Jeff Adams, is that him down there playing on the guitar?
Sounds like a little...
Is that Eddie?
That sounds like a little Eddie Van Halen.
All right, 1st and 10, Highland. Has everybody down here on the near side of the field. Fumble! You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
Is that number 6?
4, I think that's 7 turnovers, 4 fumbles and 3 interceptions.
Yikes.
7 turnovers tonight.
That's what I would call the Halloween hex, and that went right through the hands of Prasser, right off his face mask. Yikes.
And they should be, again, they should be able to run the clock out in the game. There's no need to pass the ball. Just be safe with it.
Mondo around the corner looking for some room.
Out of bounds and stop the clock.
No, he's not. Well, he did. You're right, Brian.
You're getting away with this tonight. When you get into playoff football, you cannot afford to operate like this. You just can't.
Wow.
Well, he got a great block from Ronnie Owens.
Oh,
come
big
up
hit.
In a wing T formation and run the buck sweep. Nice job by number 51, Joshua Burnett. in on the tackle for the Scotsman. Also number 33, Jimmy Gonzalez.
Dipping below 2 minutes now, obviously. We're towards the waning moments of high school football game of the week 8. 2 weeks left in regular season, and then into the playoffs we go. Guerra hands the ball off to number 30, Mike Lopez.
Well, Brian, I would agree with you on your pick for Lawrence Weldon, but we got to give strong consideration to Angel Posada for the outstanding job he did tonight.
Well, I tell you, Kevin, once again we're seeing a great defensive lineman play, and it seems like almost every week we see that. And then, I mean, also too, I mean, let's give credit to the cornerbacks. Anthony Williams, he had a great game tonight, so he's broke up some passes, 2 interceptions. But I think Weldon's been, has been the Barber Honda, in my opinion, the Barber Honda player of the game.
Our thanks to the Dean of Athletics, Kevin Platt, Principal Brenda Lewis, and everyone here at Foothill High School for welcoming us, making us feel great here. We appreciate everything. On a 3rd and 13, he scooped up at about the 40-yard line. I'm going to go with, first of all, appreciate your comments on these other players and the contributions they've made tonight. Very, well pointed out players out there. Just hard to escape number 5 tonight. I'll go with young Weldon for player of the game.
Well, you mentioned Kevin Platt, the AD here. It's very rare that you get a University of Arkansas guy to come in and be your AD, but that's going to do it for the Trojans tonight.
Week 8 is in the books. When we come back, Brian Adams and I will watch Kevin Keys present Lawrence Weldon with the Barber Honda Player of the Game Award. Foothill wins big, 24-2.
Got a job to do? Premier Equipment Rentals is your answer. Residential or industrial, we've got exactly what you need to get the job done. Whether it's a drill, trencher, bobcat, backhoe, or excavator, you can always count on Premier Equipment Rentals. And with our new extended hours, we're available when you need us. Check us out at 3217 Patton Way and 5001 Stein Road, or give us a call to find out more. Don't forget to ask about our weekend specials. Make your next project a breeze with Premier Equipment Rental.
Get rid of your old gas guzzler and buy used at the Barber Honda's Used Car Super Center. With over 200 cars, you'll get Superstar treatment and state-of-the-art service at the new Barber Honda Service Center. It's the absolute best in Kern County. Find a pre-owned, fuel-efficient car that's just right for you. And Barber Honda has the largest selection of certified pre-owned Hondas. Don't wait until gas is over $6 a gallon. Start saving gas and money now at the Barber Honda Used Car Super Center, 4625 Weibel Road at the entrance to the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
The Barber Honda Player of the Game.
And welcome to the Barber Honda post-game show. A big game in Division III in the SEYL. 24-2, Foothill over Highland. And one of the main reasons is number 5 for the Trojans, their heart and soul senior leader, Lawrence Weldon. Lawrence, outstanding game tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Lawrence, you had well over 100 yards rushing tonight. You got to play defense for the first time, had an interception. How did that feel?
Oh, it felt real great. I'd like to thank God and my coaches for calling out the right plays. The linemen blocked their butts off. You know, we executed on offense and defense, made some good plays.
Lawrence Weldon, one of the quiet leaders on this team. This was a big statement here on the east side, as this game has major implications for Division III playoffs down the road. Highland came into the game 6-1. The Scotsmen, a pretty good team, but tonight it was all Foothill and Lawrence Weldon. And with us tonight from Barber Honda is Sam Croft to award the player of the game. Sam?
Well, Lawrence, I've been hearing a lot about you for like 2 years now. And tonight I was really impressed. It was a great game, and I was glad I finally got out here to see you. So congratulations on being the Barber Honda Player of the Game. some awards from both Bright House Networks and Barber Honda for you, your plaque, and congratulations. Great job.
So there it is, Kern County for Vance Palm, Brian Adams. I'm Kevin Keys for Bernie Johnson and our camera crew. Good night, everybody.
With cooking, cleaning, planning, and homework to do, when it's time for TV shows, you might not make it in time to watch. So let them wait for you. You've got Start Over, powered by Bright House Networks, letting you restart certain live TV shows right from the very beginning, all with just a few clicks of the select button on your remote. It's free and included with your digital cable. So when it comes to time, you've got plenty of it. Start Over, powered by Bright House Networks, making life easier.
Send us your videos and be a star. Introducing You on Demand, exclusively on Bright House Networks. Send us a video of your family, friends, or pets, funny videos, short films you've made, or musical performances, and you could see yourself on demand. Go to bakersfield.mybrighthouse.com for more information and click on the You on Demand logo for details. So send us your videos and be a star. You on Demand on Bakersfield On Demand Digital Channel 300.
ESPN College Game Day.
You ready? I'm ready.
The #1 college football show.
Expect the unexpected.
I know you've done your homework on this.
Absolutely. Every Saturday.
It's always a fun place to be.
Look at these beautiful people. This is heaven.
Live from the nation's college football hotspots.
These are the best college football fans in the nation.
The guys, the predictions, and the headgear.
Go Buckeyes!
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN and ESPN HD. Then log on to collegegameday.com.
This has been an exclusive presentation of Bright House Networks.